What's up, guys? We're back on Trey 5 channel. Oh, it goes. Whoa.
We got the engine, transmission all mocked up. Engine fits good, transmission doesn't. So we're cutting out the transmission tunnel, making a new one, lifting it up a little bit so we can bring the back end of the transmission up to where it needs to be. Once that's done and tacked in place, we'll pull the engine transmission back out, get that welded up, and then we'll start turning our attention to shaving the firewall.
We got the firewall shaved, all the rust repaired on the firewall. We got the engine back in. Now we have the front end back on so we can finish building these panels instead of building them when it's painted. Now we're moving on to the intake and building an intake box for this. So if you look at this, these tubes, as you can see, I'm only holding them with one hand. There's no tacks on them because they're just slip-on. There's a piece in there that's the same size inside diameter, so you can just literally slip it on, test fit it, see where you got to do, mark it, and then tack and weld it. So after you cut this pipe, you got a bunch of burrs outside and inside. So you got a little deburring tool. You clean the inside up. Make sure not to catch or slip, because you can penetrate some skin with that. Now that we have it mocked up, we made a line to illustrate where the rotation that it needs to be at. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tack it together, finish building it, and then we'll weld it when it's all done. All right, we got the intake done. We needed to add a 90 on the bottom and a 90 on top, so we split 245s and give us a little more clearance when we're running this through some puddles. So we're going to build an intake box for the filter. We're going to template it out of poster board to get the rough dimensions. So we like using this poster board because you can bend it and it'll kind of keep the shape to give you a rough estimate of what the area that you're going to be working with. So we just put it in here on our finger brake. I made some marks to illustrate where it needs to be bent. You max it out because it's so thin. And now you have a bent paper, kind of like you're going to do on the sheet metal. We'll draw a Sharpie mark around it, give us a dimension and where we're going to bend it. We need to cut the corner of it, but if any of you guys have ever dealt with aluminum, if you use a cutoff wheel, it really gums it up and it takes a lot of force to try to cut it. So here's a little trick. You use a bar of soap, you coat the wheel with it, and you go to cutting, night and day difference. Another advantage, it smells good when you're cutting. We got the intake all welded up. We have the box made and tacked together. We have one small bead run on it, and then this will be done. So when you're welding aluminum, you got to make sure the parts are really clean. What I like to do is grab some lacquer thinner with a rag and wipe the section you're going to be welding. And then I usually grab the air blower and blow out any remainders that are in there. So we got all the intake stuff taken care of. It's all welded. We have these inner panels made already with the holes drilled for them to bolt on. So now we're just going to put everything together. All right, everything's mocked up. Now we're going to take it all apart and send it over to Eye Candy.
So while we're waiting on Frank to bodywork and paint the firewall of the blue truck that we just started, here's one that we just wrapped up. A little bit different. This one's an LS3. So this is a 430 horsepower, 376 cubic inch LS3. Bone stock engine, comes with a warranty. You can see we shaved the firewall. We went to a 7-inch booster just to give us clearance around the valve cover, coil covers there. All-American billet pulley setup, some Sanderson headers. We've got an entropy radiator in here that has a transmission cooler in it. Optima battery is kind of our battery of choice. So we got rid of the stock hinges on this one and went to some billet, all-American billet polished hood hinges. To make it easy to lift and lower the hood, you can literally do it with one finger. Built our own intake tube, just cleans everything up under here. Headlight to taillight, as far as wiring and plumbing goes, is all brand new. We got Dakota Digital HDX gauges. We put a retro sound radio in it. We also added Resto Mod AC that's mounted up underneath the dash. Seat was already done, the carpet was already done. We just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. This one gets delivered Friday. As soon as we get the blue one back from Frank, we'll be back on that one to get it up and running just like this one.
What are you guys doing over here? Whoa.
That.
Backfire, huh?
A little backfire. All right, let's delete that.